Hey, crawl in my cadaverous crowd of Second Life. I'm Felix Lubezki, your Crypt-Keeper from the grave. Back again, I see. Back for more chills and tales from the crypt. Welcome then, welcome to the Crypt of Tear. It's your host and whore, the Crypt-Keeper, ready to curdle your blood with another of Creep's collector's items. So come in this yarn you will be the main character. Oh, you'd like that? Well, we'll see. Everything that happens will be seen through the main character's eyes. Ready? Then start living the tale I call Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. You open your eyes and the glaring light overhead blinds you. Suddenly you realize that you've been under a swirling sea of darkness and have only now come to the surface. A gray haze hangs over you, but soon even that clears away like cobwebs being swept aside by a fastidiously wielded duster. Things come into focus. Jellied objects slowly freeze into solidity. A figure bends over you, shielding the overhead glare from your light-sensitive eyes. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Nod your head if you can. You nod your head, looking up at the figure bending over you. His beady little eyes dance behind thick crystal-like glasses. He grins. I knew it! I knew I could do it! Oh, we will be famous, you and I. The world will flock to see us. You look around. You are in a small, instrument-cluttered room. Glass cabinets filled with test tubes line the walls. Strange-shaped machines surround you. The figure standing over you pats your chest reassuringly. Don't try to move. Just lie there. Can you talk? Can you say anything? You open your mouth. Somewhere back under that sea of blackness you have just risen from is a memory of speech. You open your mouth, but only a choking gurgle spills out. That's alright. Do not worry. You will talk again. I will teach you. Now, rest. The figure with the thick glasses turns to go. He moves through the apparatus-crowded room to a door and opens it. He reaches for a light switch. I will be back later. I will go out front now. It is time to give another show. Rest. Until later. The room falls into darkness and he goes out. For a while you just lie there, sucking in the warm air. Then you try to sit up. Something tight across your chest digs in. You're strapped down. You try to move your arms. The metal bands across your wrists hold them fast. You call out, surprised at the gargled screechiness of your own voice. You look down towards your feet, at the heavy scuffed shoes and the bands across your legs. How did you get here? What has happened to you? What is this fiend trying to do to you now? A cold chill of fear shivers over you. You tug and strain. The straps across your chest part like paper, and you sit up, tearing your arms loose, your legs. You crawl through the open window of the room out into the night. The cool night, filled with 1,000 voices, a million flickering stars. To your right, lights gleam behind silhouetted buildings. People, many people, move in the light, gaily laughing, talking. Somewhere, a calliope plays, its musical drifting into the darkness. A harsh voice calls, luring, promising. Hurry, hurry, right this way. See Morrow's Wax Museum. See the Chamber of Horrors. You're in the rear alley of the amusement park. The light and the laughter and the music and the voices seem to draw you, like a magnet. You move towards them, down between the buildings, towards them. They're closer now, the laughing people. They move past the alley, a sea of faces, a sea of smiles. And now you're nearly there, nearly out of the alley, nearly among them. Yee! A woman's eyes bulge in her blanched face. She stares at you. Her hysterical shriek is like a door slamming out the laughter. The voices, the music, the silence falls. Thick, sad silence. What is it, Anne? What? Look! Good Lord! Suddenly the door is open once more. Only this time there is no laughter, no music. Shouts of dismay. Screams of terror pour in at you. Police! Run, oh Lord, run! Get him! Get him! Again that chill of fear knifes through you. You turn from the shouts and the screams and the bulging eyes and the blanched faces, and you run back up the alley, back into the blackness. There he goes! I'm sick! After him! The footsteps clattered after you, but they soon fade. The amusement park is very far away when you finally slow down to a walk. You gasp for breath and your heart pounds in your chest like a piston. You are on a country road. The ribbon of concrete winds way into the darkness. You move along it. Behind you, a gentle purring grows louder and louder. A car. You turn, facing into the oncoming headlighting glare. Car pulls up beside you. Driver calls to you. Want to ride into town, bud? You open the door. For a moment, he looks at you, horrified. Then he screams. Ah! Why do they scream when they see you? That frightened, terrifying scream. You want to stop it. You clap your hand over his mouth, but his eyes still scream. And then his eyes glaze and roll, and he is dead. His body goes limp, and you let it slip away from you like a soft sack. He falls against the steering wheel, and the horn begins to blow, a long, monotonous moan. You pull him from the car and push him to the side of the road. The car purrs along the concrete ribbon smoothly. The road slips from the darkness ahead into your headlight beam and down under the humming wheels. Soon houses begin to appear. You are coming into town, and things seem familiar to you. And then you see it, the small white cottage. Your foot presses the brake pedal automatically as you swing into the driveway. You've done it 1,000 times before. You know it. You slip from the car and across the freshly cut lawn. The name on the sign sticking awkwardly in the shrub bed strikes a familiar note. The name. Stone. Suddenly you remember. Arthur Stone. That's who you are. And Nancy, your wife. She's waiting for you. You hammer anxiously on the neat, clean front door. Upstairs a light goes on. Footsteps descend inside, coming closer. Coming down the steps. The door swings open. Yes? What is it? Who? Yee! Nancy. Even Nancy looks at you like that. Those eyes, those wide, frightened, terrifying eyes. And now she's screaming like the others. And now she's running up the stairs, screaming. And you're running after her, calling her name. Only it isn't her name that erupts from your throat. It's a choking, garbled, guttural sound. Keep away! Oh Lord, help! Help! And now she's in the bedroom, and you're moving towards her, pleading. But there's no recognition in her eyes, only wild hysteria. And she's backing away, backing towards the open window, towards... Ah! Suddenly she's gone, backwards, out the window, and her scream is cut short by the dull thud as her flailing body hits the backyard patio below. You rush to the window, staring down at her, sobbing. When you get to her, she's dead. Her lifeless eyes still stare at you in glazed fear. You stumble to the car and speed back to the carnival. The man with the beady eyes and the thick glasses, he's done something to you. Nancy is dead, and it's his fault. Then you're slipping up the amusement park alley into the open window. You? Where have you been? The place is crawling with cops. You shouldn't have escaped. You're mine. I made you. I knew I could do it, and I did. I took parts of bodies and I put them together. And I took a brain of a man who died out there in my wax museum. A man named Arthur Stone. He died of a heart attack, and I took his brain. I made you live. I always believed it was possible. Out there, in my chamber of horrors, there's a tableau of Frankenstein and his monster. You're my monster, my Frankenstein. What an exhibit you'll make. I'll be famous. Don't look at me like that. No, yeah! Your fingers close about his throat, cutting off his scream. And even as the life fades from his twitching body, you're studying your neatly stitched fingers, the sewn wrists, the scarred arms. And then you stumble from the room into the wax museum, leaving his lifeless body sprawled amid the equipment. Then you're staring at the tableaus, blood-curdling groupings of historic horror scenes. And suddenly, you see it. The most revolting scene of all. A disgusting monster. A conglomeration of stitched flesh. A leering, repulsive thing staring at you. The Frankenstein monster, no doubt. You clap your hand to your quivering mouth as the nausea sweeps over you. But the monster moves too. Oh my God. A mirror. You're looking into a mirror. That's you in there. That repulsive, stitched, flesh, hideous monster for you is your own reflection. Yeah! You smash the mirror in 1,000 glimmering, shiny pieces in sheer disgust and horror. Then you're running, screaming, out in the midway. Whee! There he goes! After him! The clatter of footsteps was right behind you as you swing into a doorway. He's going to that exhibit! Come on! You're in a maze of smooth-walled, dark passageways. Trapped. Suddenly, the passageways are flooded with brilliant light. Figures leap at you from all sides. Horrible, figured, stitched, fleshed figures. A hall of mirrors. And no matter which way you look, no which way you turn, you have maddeningly revolting reflection glares at you, shouting at you, shrieks at you in utter revulsion. Ah! Until, when they find you, the life lent to your monstrous skin-sewn body has faded, escaped from each countless long-dead section, subtracted from the subproduct of horror that added up to you, driven from you by the madness of your own image. That's him! He's dead! Good Lord! Heh, yep, kiddies, as they always say, if looks could kill, well, in this case, they did. I hope you liked taking part of monster in this story. I also hope that it didn't affect you. If I were you, I'd just go on to the Vault Keeper's tale. I wouldn't look in the mirror right now. I might see something you wish you hadn't. Hey, wait, okay, but don't say I didn't warn you. Bye now. Dig you later. Now that Crypt-Keeper has finished dishing out his old oil, it's my turn to entertain you fiends. Welcome once more to the Vault of Horror. This is your Vault Keeper with another horror yarn from my collection, and this one is about oil. Oil, black, gooey, oil. And I call this blood-curdling hair razor oils well that ends well. The flashy convertible car came to a stop at a point in the highway overlooking the sprawling Midwestern town. The two men in the car looked down at the rooftops and smiled. Well, Phil, there she is, waiting for us, like a sitting duck, waiting to be plucked. There's the park, down there in the center of town, and there's the cemetery. The driver turned to the one with a cigarette between his lips. Look, Phil, how many times I told you not to talk with that butt dangling from your mouth? It doesn't look good. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, Sam, I forgot. Well, don't forget. After all, you're supposed to be an honest businessman. You look like a Sturpy when you do that. Okay, don't get excited, Sam. I'll be careful. The car continued on down the highway. Finally, it pulled up before the one hotel in town. Alright, on your toes. Here we go. I'll start setting the grips out. You check in. Right, Sam. One named Sam started to unload the luggage from the flashy convertible, while the other one, Phil, entered the hotel and crossed the lobby to the desk. Howdy, stranger. What can I do for you? I'd like 2 rooms, one for myself and one for my field man. Field man? What's that? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Philip Garson. Oil is my business. I locate oil deposits for big oil companies. My field man, Mr. Simpson, handles the general surveying of prospective sites. We're just passing through. Oil, eh? Sign here, thinking of looking around these parts? Thank you, no, we're on our way north. Where shall I put the luggage, Mr. Garson? Rooms 201, 202, up them stairs and turn right. You heard the gentleman, Mr. Simpson. Yes, sir. The man behind the desk watched as Sam carried the luggage up the stairs and Phil followed. Psst. Hey, Jess, you hear that? Dapper-looking guy's an oil man. He must be rich. Take a gander at the car parked outside. Upstairs, out of shot, Sam whispered angrily to Phil. Talking to that clerk with that cigarette in your mouth dangling from your mouth. What are you trying to do? Queer the deal? I forgot, Sam. I'm sorry. Later as night came on in the hotel lobby. $100,000, Mr. Garson? That's what Bayshore Oil Company paid. My commission was 10%. And that's all you do is locate oil deposits. And when the big oil companies buy, collect your commission from the owner of the land? Right. Shucks, seems to me you'd be better off drilling yourself. A lot better off, you're right. But drilling equipment costs a great deal, Mr. Fagan. More than I got. I'd have to borrow. Mr. Garson. It's his field man, Mr. Simpson. Mr. Garson, I gotta speak to you, privately. That's alright, Simpson. Out with it. You're all excited. What's up? Oil, Mr. Garson. I'm sure of it. Oil? Where? Better come upstairs, Mr. Simpson. Sam followed Phil up the stairs. Behind them, the hotel lobby buzzed with excitement. They found oil right here in town. Where? Search me. Anybody see where that Simpson pillar come from? Upstairs in the room, the two men smiled. Phil drew the shade aside and peered out. There's a crowd gathering, Sam. Did you take care of it? Nobody was around. I took care of it. She'll ooze for a week. Now go head down and start the pitch. But douse the cigarette first. 5 minutes later, Phil came downstairs. The lobby of the hotel was jammed with townsfolk. I'd like to see the mayor. I'm the mayor. Jordan's my name. Mayor Jordan, I've been advised by my field man that there's oil on the town's property. Under the city park? The park? Hey, there's oil under the park. The town's rich. Shall we go on over, Mr. Jordan? Let's go, Mr. Garson. The crowd stood around the black slick that sleep from the ground in the park. There are two things you can do, Mr. Jordan. You can turn the land over to a private oil company or drill for it yourselves. But we don't know anything about drilling for oil. Well, I could handle it for you, but it would cost a great deal, about $60,000. $60,000? But we couldn't afford. Say, Mayor, why couldn't you let us folks in town put up the money from a corporation and issue stock? Mayor Jordan turned to the crowd. What do you say, folks? Do we turn the land over to a private company or raise the money and drill for the oil ourselves? Ourselves! Yeah, let's keep it in the family. Later in the hotel room, they fell for it, Sam. They're going to form a corporation and issue stock. I've been put in charge of the drilling. Good. Now, as soon as they turn the money over to us, we'll pull the routine. A corporation was formed. Stock was issued. Subscriptions from the townsfolk poured in. Here's $1,000, Mayor Jordan. That's all we could scrape up. Thanks, Mr. Pagan. Here's your 10 shares. Well, Mr. Garson, the stock issue has been sold, every last share. Here's a check for $60,000. Good. Now we can start the drilling. Here's the dough, Sam. I just cashed a check. Why don't we skip town and forget the cemetery routine? No, we'll want to work this deal again. You got to be kept in the clear. Cemetery routine stays. And just to make sure you don't forget to come and dig me up, I'll hide the dough. Now give me one of those pills and phone the mayor. You know what to say. Here you are. So long, don't forget. Dig me up within 6 hours after they bury me. We'll pick up the dough on the way out of town, and for crying out loud, ditch the cigarette. Huh? Oh, forgot. So long, Sam. Mayor Jordan rushed to Philip Garson's hotel room in answer to his frantic phone call. What do you mean the old deposit's phony? It's true. When I found Simpson, my field man is gone and the drilling money's gone too. I checked. We poured oil in that sandy spot in the park. There's no oil under there. But we've been taken. Con. We'll get him. He won't get far. Just outside of town, they found the flashy convertible. He's dead. Heart attack, probably. Did you find the money? Nope, not a dollar. Philip Garson was questioned carefully. I trusted him. He'd been with me almost a year. Can't believe it. First lying about the oil and stealing the money. Now this? Dead. I'm so sorry for all the folks that trusted me. Wasn't your fault. Do you have any idea what he might have done with the money, Mr. Garson? Didn't he have it with him? No, we searched carefully. His clothes, the car. Probably hid it somewhere planning to come back and get it. Now it's lost. Good. I'd like to claim his body, give him a decent burial. Of course, Mr. Garson. I'll give you a release. And so that afternoon, Sam Simpson was buried. Naturally, Phil had made sure that Sam's body was not embalmed. And when the effects of the pill Sam had taken wore off, he woke up 6 feet under the earth. What's that? Something sticky oozing in the coffin? Muddy water. Smells funny. The warm, thick liquid continued to seep in the coffin as the hours dragged by. Phil will be here soon. He'll dig me up. Phew, that smell. The ooze puddled higher and higher in the coffin. It rose above Sam's ears. Phil, for Pete's sake, hurry before I drown. What is that odor? Sam was pressing his face against the satin lid of the coffin, sucking at the last traces of air when the digging sounded from above. It's Phil. Thank the Lord. Hurry, Phil. Boy, will I be glad to see your stupid face with that dangling cigarette. And now I know what that stuff smells like. Oh, Lord. And as Phil lifted the lid of the coffin, Sam screamed at him, his bright, shining face rising from the surface of the ooze-filled coffin. It's oil, Phil! Huh? The The cigarette dangling from Phil's mouth dropped into the thick black oil as his jaw fell open in astonishment. Suddenly there was a blinding white flash. Yup, Phil forgot again, only this time Sam blew up. Of course, Phil went to pieces over his bad habit, too. But the little town got its oil boom after all. The 60 grams Sam had hidden was never found. They tore the flashy convertible to bits looking for it. Want to buy a car on the installment plan? A bit at a time? Bye now. See you in the next My Mag, The Vault of Horror. Read the romance, my tomb dwellers of Second Life. Tales from the Crypt number 34 pins Love Story, a text tale where love letters hide deadly secrets. Soon yet? I met Negra in my last year of medical school. She had come to the university that year to study medicine as an exchange student from Mecklenburg, Germany. Dr. Justin McGill was presenting an exhibit in his field of hematopathy pertaining to any of the diseases of the blood, and as I was quite interested in the study, I spent much of my free time assisting him in preparing slides of blood smears. I had just come from the university hospital's fresh specimen of blood taken from a patient who was a bleeder, one in whom the constituents of fibrin do not exist in proper proportion or proper quantity, thus preventing a clot to form when bleeding takes place. Many afflicted with this blood deficiency had bled to death from a simple scratch. Dr. McGill was conducting his hemocyclotology class when I entered his laboratory. I took a microscope from a wall cabinet and set it up at a table at the back of the room. I placed a few drops of the bleeder's non-coagulated blood on a slide and proceeded to study it under the high power. I raised my head slowly from the eyepiece when a soft voice and a careful, precise English, "May I look at your slide?" It was a girl with raven black hair and inquisitive dark eyes. Her face was as pale as her neatly starched laboratory cloth. She looked into my microscope. In a few seconds she said, "Hemophilia, delayed clotting of the blood and consequential difficulty in checking hemorrhage." "Right," I added, surprised at her rapid cell detection. "It's a congenital condition and inherited by males through the mother as a sex-linked character. I feel so sorry for the people who are afflicted with it. They can't live a normal life. They have to be so careful. There are so many strange conditions of the blood which are passed from generation to generation," she said feebly. I thought she was just another medical student going through the usual stages of textbook hypochondria. I soon learned that Negra was Dr. McGill's best student. She seemed obsessed with a morbid curiosity about blood. Whenever I worked in the lab or classified types in the plasma depository, she would come to talk to me. One day she came in the blood bank, her face more blanched than usual. I told her that she was studying too hard and required more rest. I left her in charge of the bank while I went to the medical building to see a dying friend who was waiting away from no visible disease. Incidentally, this poor fellow was a classmate and an acquaintance of Negra. When I came back to relieve Negra, there was a red, healthy glow to her face. A few days later, my moribund friend expired. An autopsy showed a definite perennious anemia. All of the blood content of his body had dried up in the course of a few weeks. Only a month before, he had undergone a complete physical and was found well and robust. As an added shock, I found a shortage of some 42 pints in the blood bank. That night, I took Negra to town to see a movie. We were returning about midnight when my car was stalled by a sudden rainstorm, wet wires. Negra and I sat in the front seat watching the rain pounding on the hood and windshield. Soon I began to doze off, but I didn't sleep very long. I was jolted upright by long, deep, gurgling, frenzied, inhaling sounds. I turned towards Negra. Her lips were bloody and her mouth was stretched over the alabaster white surface of her writhing white forearm. She was swallowing her own blood as fast as she could draw it into her spastically contracting teeth. But she could never satiate her lustful thirst, for as she grew stronger, she also grew weaker. As she gained blood, she also lost blood. Now all was clear to me. Negra had inherited vampirism as an old family trait. I had read of the ancient bloodsuckers of Mecklenburg. When the rain stopped, I set my car and Negra ablaze. she would find sweet, innocent rest at last. But why hadn't she inflicted her blood-sucking on me? Could it be that Negra, the reluctant vampire, was in love with me? The Crypt-Keeper's Grim Fairy Tale. I call this nursery novelette Attacks of Horror. Once upon a time, long, long ago, there was a tiny seaside kingdom governed by a fat king who was mad about money. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5. King money mad, king money mad. Can't you see I'm counting my money, royal advisor? I told you never to interrupt me when I'm counting my money. Now I'll have to begin it all over again. 1,000, 2. But king money mad, I've got it, a way for you to get more money. 3,000, 4. What? You've thought of a way for me to get more money, royal advisor? How? Taxes, king money mad. Taxes, royal advisor? What are taxes? You charge people a certain amount of money per year for something. That's called a tax. Well, what do you tax people for, royal advisor? Anything. You just think of a tax and tax them for it. That's all there is to it, eh, royal advisor? Just think of something and tax them for it, eh? Alright, issue decree, royal advisor. A tax decree, eh, king money mad? A tax decree, yes, to all the titled people in my kingdom, counts, dukes, lords, earls, etc. For using their titles, I tax them 69,000 pieces of gold a year. Sort of a surtax, eh, king money mad? Good, I'll issue the decree immediately. And so, fat king money mad learned about taxes. His surtax was complete success. Money poured into the royal treasury from angry title holders all over the kingdom. 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10. King money mad, king money mad. Royal advisor, how many times have I told you not to interrupt me when I'm counting my money? Now, where was I? King money mad, all title holders have paid their surtax. There won't be any more money coming in. Think of something. Take a decree, royal advisor. Call owners of boats. A tax of 3 pieces of gold per square yard of canvas is hereby levied. Sales tax. King? Good. I'll issue the decree immediately. And so the sales tax was levied. Irate fishermen protested, but to no avail. But I have 60 square yards of sales. My family will starve. 180 pieces of gold, or else. And money poured into the royal treasury. 12,000, 13,000, 14. King money mad, king money mad. Royal advisor, how many times have I told you? Oh, what's the use? What is it now? It's the sales tax, king money mad. All sales have been taxed. No more money will be coming in. Now what? Are those gypsies still wandering around the kingdom, royal advisor? The ones that tell fortunes? Yes, king money mad. Take a decree, royal advisor, because there are too many fortune tellers in the kingdom. Each one is taxed 100 pieces of gold. Excess profits tax, eh, king? Good, I'll issue the decree. And so the excess profits tax was levied. Angry gypsy fortune tellers protested, but to no avail. But I was just on my way out of the kingdom. 100 pieces of gold, or you'd be staying here a long, long time, in a dungeon. King Money Mad's madness for money grew and grew as more and more poured into his treasury. The more he got, the more he wanted. Take a decree, royal advisor. Anyone who owns a fishing rod is taxed 90 pieces of gold. Poll tax, eh, king? Now King Money Mad's kingdom was a fishing kingdom. Since it was located by the sea, many people had fishing rods. So, when the poll tax was levied, King Money Mad has gone far enough. 90 pieces of gold for a fishing pole. He's taxing us into poverty. The people of the kingdom who owned fishing rods paid their poll tax anyway. 35,000, 36,000, 37. King Money Mad, King Money Mad. Now what? The poll tax was completely collected. Got any ideas? Take a decree for all those who have rugs in their homes. Carpet tax, eh? People of King Money Mad's kingdom were furious. 30 pieces of gold because I have that straw mat on my floor? Carpet is a carpet. Pay up or else. Practically everyone had at least a mat on their floor. Those who couldn't pay were dragged off to prison. Daddy, Daddy! No, no, don't take my husband away. You'll have to pay the carpet tax, lady. When it's paid, he'll be released. Money continued to pour into King Moneymad's treasure. 68,000, 69. King Moneymad. All right, royal advisor, what's the sad news? The carpet tax. It's all paid up. Then take this decree, royal advisor. A tax of 20 pieces of gold each is hereby levied of every thumb in the land. Thumb tax. This tax, the thumb tax, was the last straw. The people had been taxed until they could pay no more. They have no more money, King Moneymad. They cannot pay the thumb tax. If they cannot pay the thumb tax, then they cannot have their thumbs. Take a decree. What does it say? It says the thumb tax must be paid or the thumbs will be removed. Those who could not pay were lined up outside the palace. The line was very long. King Moneymad sat in the palace courtyard next to the axeman. All right, bring 'em in one at a time. King says bring 'em in one at a time. First man was dragged to chopping blocks. For not paying your thumb tax, you must lose your thumbs. No, mercy, mercy. The axeman's axe fell. The man screamed. Ah! Outside the castle, the people online stared at each other in disbelief. He's really going through with it. He's mad. The line began to move. The axeman's axe rose and fell again and again. First he taxed nobility, surtax he called it. Then the sales tax. Then the excise profits tax. Then the sin tax, the poll tax, carpet tax, and now this thumb tax. Somebody ought to tax him. The line continued to move. The axeman's axe rose and fell. Screams echoed in the courtyard. Outside, the line began to babble, then shout. Suddenly, let's get him! We've been taxed enough. Let's tax him! The crowd stormed into the courtyard, seizing the king. Somebody grabbed the axeman's axe. Stop this! Stop this! I am your king! And your people have decided to tax you, your majesty! The crowd moved in. The axe was raised. The king screamed. The crowd cheered. The axe fell. Somebody bent and picked it up for all to see. A bag-like, yellowish, blood-stained form. Corporation tax! And that's my grim fairy tale for this issue, kiddies. The people suffered King Moneymad's taxation until they couldn't stomach it any longer. And then they took King Moneymad's stomach. That is, grim, that's the idea. Now if you shift your eyes right to the old witch, she'll wind up my mag with serving from her cauldron. Get the bicarb ready. Bye now. Yeah, kitty, it's your hostess in the haunt of fear, the old witch, stirring her cauldron again, ready to serve you another whore helping. The reeking recipe I've cooked up this time was first dished out by the very dear fiend of mine, America's foremost fantasy writer, Ray Bradbury. So tuck your drool cups under your chins and I'll feed you my adaptation of Mr. Bradbury's There Was an Old Woman. The tall, dark young man stood quietly, not moving. Aunt Tildy shook her head, fussing with her knitting. No, there's no use arguing. I got my mind fixed. You run along with your silly wicker basket. Land, where'd you ever get nonsense like that? You just get out of here and don't bother me. The tall, dark man sat down. He sat just there, staring. The bone porcelain flowered clock on the mantel chimed 3 out in the hall. Grouped around the wicker basket, 4 men waited quietly, hardly moving, as if they were there. Now about that wicker basket. It's past 6 feet long, and by the looks of it, it ain't laundry, and these 4 men you walked in with, you don't need them to carry the basket. Why, it's light as thistles, eh? The dark young man watched Aunt Tildy. Something in her face suggested the basket wouldn't be so light after a while. There'd be something in it. Now, where have I seen a wicker like that before? Seems to me old. Now, I remember it was when Mr. Dwyer passed away next door. Aunt Tildy set her knitting down sternly. So that's what you're here for. I thought you were working to sell me something. Well, you just set till Emmy comes home. She'll take care of you. She'll shoo you out of the parlor so quick it'll... The dark man looked at Aunt Tildy as if she were tired. No, I'm not. I'm not tired. Great sons o' Goshen on the Gilberry Pike, I got hundreds of comforters, 200 sweaters, and 600 potholders in these fingers. No matter how skinny they are, you run and come back when they're done, and maybe I'll talk to you. There was a noise. The mantel clock sounded 3. Strange. It seemed to her that it had chimed 3 once before. Are you just going to sit there, young man? He was. Then you won't mind if I take a nap. Just a cat nap. Now don't get up off that chair. You sit there. You sit there and don't come creeping around me. Just going to close my eyes for a wee spell. So feathery, so drowsy, so deep. Underwater, almost so nice. Who's that moving around in the dark with my eyes closed? Who's that kissing my cheek? You, Emily? No. Guess it was my thoughts. Only dreaming, drifting, off. The clock chimed 3 again. Aunt Tildy sat up. The young man in the dark suit stood near the door. You leaving so soon, young man? Good thing. Emily's coming home and she'd fix you. Had to give up, didn't you? Couldn't convince me, could you? Well, young man, you needn't bother coming back to try again. The dark young man bowed with slight dignity. He had no intent of coming back, ever. Fine. Why, you couldn't get me out of this house. No, siree. Why, I'm going to knit in this window the next 1,000 years. You'll have to chew the boards around me to quit looking at the cat like that. I ate the bird. Get out and tote that fool wicker box with you. 4 men traded heavily out the front door. Tilly studied the way they handled the wicker. It wasn't heavy, yet they staggered with its weight. She glanced about concernedly. Here now, did you steal some of my antiques, my books? No. The clocks? No. What have you got in that wicker? The dark man offered the lid of the wicker to Aunt Tildy. In the pantomime, he wondered if she'd like to open it and gaze inside. Curious? Me? Pshaw, no. Get out. Get out of here. Goodbye. Door slammed. That was better. Darn fool men with their maggoty ideas. Ah, here comes Emily. About time. But land, she looks pale and funny today, walking so slow. Emily shuffled into the parlor, head down. Emily, I've been waiting for you. There was the darndest fool. Men just here with a wicker. Glad you're home. Emily, stop screaming! A white, shocked man, evidently a mortician, glanced up from the recently arrived wicker as Aunt Tildy stormed into the mortuary. Madam, this is no fit place for a gentlewoman. Well, glad you feel that way. That's my sentiments exactly. I don't want me here. I want me home. I got Emily to feed, sweaters to knit, clocks to wind. Mortician looked at her, then at the wicker. He mouthed his words with apparent relish and the running of his knives, tubes, jars, and instruments. Madam, I have work to do. A body has arrived. You lay so much a cuticle on that body, and I'll thrash you. The mortician opened the wicker lid casually. Then, in a recurring series of scrutinies, he realized that the body inside, it seemed, could be. This lady here, she's a relative? No, you fool. Me! Do you hear? Me! I want my body back! The mortician considered the idea. He shook his head. No, things like this don't happen. George, show her out. Get help from the others. I can't work with a crank present. The 4 men assembled and converged. Aunt Tildy was the lace fortress, arms crossed in defiance. Won't budge. She repeated this as she was evicted in consecutive moves like a pawn on a chessboard from a laboratory. Finally, she sat down in a chair in the vestibule of the funeral parlor, and refused going back into gray silence and a flower smell. You can't sit there, ma'am. That's where the body rests for the services tomorrow. I'm sitting here till I get what I want. Here, here, more respect. Oh, madame, may I help you? Mr. Carrington, mortuary president, heard the disturbance and came toddling down the aisle to investigate. Go in that back room there and tell that eager investigator to quit fooling with my body. Mr. Carrington hurried off. After 15 minutes of comparing notes with the mortician behind closed doors, he returned, 3 shades whiter. That is, most irregular. Look here, Mr. Blood and Bones. You tell that, but he's already pumping the blood from the body. What? Yes, so you just go away now. There's nothing to be done. The blood's running, and soon the body will be all filled with nice fresh formaldehyde, and besides, he's also performing a brief autopsy. Cutting me, is he? Yes, to determine cause of death. He march straight in and tell that cut-em-up to pump all that fine New England blood right back into that fine-skinned body. And if he's taking anything out for him, to attach it back in so it'll function properly. You hear? There's nothing I can do. Nothing. Alright, I'm sitting here the next 200 years, you hear, and anytime anyone comes near me, I'll spit ectoplasm right squirt up their left nostril. You wouldn't do that. You'll dislocate our business. You wouldn't. Oh, wouldn't I? All right, you can have your body back. Ha! Aunt Tildy shouted in triumph, then with caution. Intact, no formaldehyde. Intact, no formaldehyde. Blood back in it. Blood, my God, yes, blood. If you'll only take it and go. Fair enough, fix her up. It's a deal. I'll tell the mortician. Aunt Tildy didn't look at the body much. Her only comment was, natural looking, easy, easy. Put the wicker basket down the floor where I can step in it. Then she let herself fall back into the wicker, a biting sensation of arctic coldness, a great unlikely nausea, and a giddy whirling like two drops of matter fusing together water trying to seep into concrete. Mortuary people watched Aunt Tildy wiggles, trying to assist in boosting and grunting moves of their arms and hands, seeping into gold granite, seeping into the frozen statues, squeezing all the way. Come alive, darn ye! Raise up a bit! The body half rose, rustling on the dry wicker. See! Feel! Light entered the webbed blind eyes. The body felt the warm room warmth. Move! Walk! The body took creaking, unsteady steps. The body walked. Now speak! Much obliged. Thank you. Now cry. And Aunt Tildy began to cry tears of utter happiness. And now, any afternoon about 4, if you want to visit Aunt Tildy, you just walk around and knock on her door. There's a big black funeral wreath on it, but don't mind that. Aunt Tildy left it there. She has a sense of humor. Just rap on the door and she'll say, "Is it the man in black?" "No, it's only me, Aunt Tildy." She'll unlock the double-barred, triple-locked door and she'll laugh and say, "Come in, quickly!" And she'll whip the door open and slam it shut behind you so no man in black can ever slip in with you. Then she'll escort you in and maybe pour you some tea. And maybe, if you're especially good, she'll give you a treat. She'll unfasten the white lace at her neck and chest and for a brief moment show you what lies beneath the long, blue autopsy scar. Not bad sewing for a man. Yup, fiends, that's Aunt Tildy's story the way Red Bradbury told it to me. I hope you like my little serving of shivers for this issue of CK's Mag. Well, I'll see you in the next, The Vault Keeper's Vault of Horror. Bye now. Old but deadly, there was an old woman shuts the gate. Tales from the Crypt, number 34, seals the tomb. Thanks for riding at SL Tonight Studio. Happy Halloween, boys and ghouls.
Join the Halloween Read Aloud. Grab the story on Discord and watch Felix Lubezki on SL Tonight YouTube.